Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's been a minute to the 1821 Sports Podcast. I think we haven't been on here in about 2 weeks. Me and Fernando have been pretty busy men with a lot of things in our lives, but we've been keeping up with the sports world, especially the Missouri sports world. And in 2 days, Missouri takes on Texas A&M, the third-ranked team in the country at home. Obviously, Missouri coming off wins against Auburn, but then comes off a loss against Vanderbilt. So, Fernando, let's talk about this A&M game. The big story going into this game is Missouri with a new quarterback, Matt Zollers, the true freshman. Talk to me a little bit, Fernando, about what you saw out of Matt Zollers and his little playing time against Vanderbilt last Saturday.
I felt like he had a really good pocket presence. I felt like he did a really good job going through his reads and making the very best decision he could for each play. Think I think a really good thing that Zollers can offer the Missouri Tigers offense is his ability to lean on more of being a pocket passer. And I think it can help the offense run better. Um, as much as I love Prebula, as much as I would like Prebula to be the starter, one of the things that Prebula struggled with is understanding his reads in regards of, oh, should I run the ball or should I throw? Wait for the receiver to run his route and make the proper read. Think with Zollers, the Missouri offense simplifies that decision making because it's either you either throw the ball or you don't. And I felt like there was this complexity, excuse me, with Prebula where he does offer the ability to run the ball. So I think he struggled with understanding like, oh, maybe I should go through my reads rather than just booking it the moment that Prebula would feel any pressure. So I think on that end, I'm excited to see what Zollers can offer.
Yeah, yeah, I think for sure. I mean, Matt Zollers only played about what like one quarter and a half a quarter, so 1.5 quarters of football versus Vanderbilt. I mean, I liked what I saw out of Matt Zollers. A lot of people did. I think most Mizzou media members even admitted that the Missouri offense looks surprisingly better with Matt Zollers out at quarterback. Now, do I think it's fair to draw up any conclusions about Matt Zollers being a better quarterback than Bo Perbula? Absolutely not, because we haven't seen enough out of Matt Zollers to make that kind of, you know, inference about Zollers, but I think it's fair to admit that Zollers is more of a true quarterback, right? The number six pocket passer coming out of high school. He's got a live arm, a much better arm than Bo Perbula. He seems to read the field better. But that could change, right? We could come out of this A&M game on Saturday and say, hey, when does Bo Perbula come back? Please save Missouri Tiger football. Like, who knows? That could genuinely happen. But I really liked what I saw out of Matt Zollers, and I'm really intrigued to see just how he looks. And another part of this game that's going to be really interesting is Mike Elko is a defensive coach at heart, right? The Texas A&M head coach. He's a tremendous coach. I mean, look at what he's done with A&M. Not saying that A&M didn't have the resources, nor was A&M bad before Mike Elko came in, but he's really elevated that program. They're the third best team in the country, and they're undefeated for a reason. They just beat LSU so bad that they fired Brian Kelly. All right. Texas A&M is a really good football team. So my question for Mike Elko would be, how does he plan on getting in Matt Zoller's head? Fernando, put yourself in these shoes of Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator of that team, essentially, right? He's the head coach, but let's be honest, he's a defensive-minded guy. How would you dial up their defense to try and pressure Matt Zoller throughout this game and make him uncomfortable?
Yeah, and I think he's going to simplify the defense. He's basically his goal is going to be to make Matt Zollers uncomfortable. So he's going to either send some type of exotic blitz, send a safety in, send a cornerback in, someone Zollers is not expecting, and to see if he can respond to it properly. And I think if that's the case, my hope as a Missouri Tiger fan would be a lot of screen passes, a lot of short passes, and relying a lot on the speed of the wide receiving crew. And we have that. Sorry, the Missouri Tigers have that with our wide receiver. So I can see Missouri dialing in a lot of slants, a lot of screen passes, and a lot of short routes where Zollers can quickly respond to it.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's interesting too that Missouri, like Eli Drinkwitz in his press conference said, they're not going to change the way that they call the offense. Now they're going to play to Zollers' strengths. And what I think that's going to do is open up more of the playbook that is revolved around just passing the ball. I don't think they could do that consistently with Bo Prabula. Like that's not Bo Prabula's game. He's not a drop back quarterback. Zollers is a drop back quarterback. He's able to scramble, but he wants to stand in the pocket like a statue and deliver a 10-yard end route over the middle. That's what Zollers wants to do, right? So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that offense is dialed up, how they get Ahmad Hardy involved early in this game too. Like A&M's defense has been really good this year, but the one thing that they've struggled with is run defense. It hasn't been bad by any stretch, but it hasn't been great either. So let's see how Ahmad Hardy gets involved here. Let me ask you this though. Here's the kicker for the Mizzou defense, right? The Mizzou defense has been great, right? They held Diego Pavia to probably one of his worst games of the year. They've done it to Jalen Daniels as well, stopping him on the ground and Lenoris Sellers. Not saying that those quarterbacks had bad games, but when it comes to Missouri stopping those quarterbacks on the ground, they did a pretty good job. So the question becomes, Fernando, do you think Missouri will be able to stop Marcel Reed on the ground? Marcel Reed is probably better than all those guys. What do you even do if you're Corey Batoon, the defensive coordinator, trying to stop a guy like Marcel Reed?
I think it'll be interesting because obviously A&M is ranked number 3 in the nation, and the Missouri Tigers are clearly the underdogs for this game. But I've always thought on the football side, when it's a team that has good defense versus a team that has good defense, the underdog has a bigger chance of pulling the upset because ultimately, in the case of A&M, Marcel Reed is it does not work. I don't think they'll have too many options past that. So I think it'll be interesting to see how the Missouri Tigers play against that, because to me it's going to be a possession game. Who's going to have the football the longest, and whoever holds the ball the longest, that's the team that's going to win the game. I don't think A&M is going to be
I could
aggressive.
see that.
I don't think A&M is going to be aggressive and score like 70 points. I think what they're going to do is it's an away game. They're going to take the ball away. That's going to be their goal. The ball away from Missouri, and just keep the ball and have 6 to 7 minute possessions, and then their plan would be for Missouri to rush and not go through their progression to organically help that offense develop. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that does make sense. I would agree for the most part. The thing that I worry about in terms of Missouri defense against A&M's offense, a lot of people have said this, and I'm going to reiterate it. Texas A&M probably has the best wide receiver duo in the country. Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, those guys are nuts. And they're yards after the catch merchants, and they're extremely good at it. So if I'm Missouri, I think the thing that matters most, and you can say this about any game really, but you can't understate it. It's tackling. You know, how well does Missouri tackle in open space? Because I think if Missouri doesn't tackle well in this game, A&M is going to win by 2 possessions. I think that you get into a really dangerous ball game if you have a lot of missed tackles in open space against this team. You got to play very sound defense, very gap sound, good eye discipline. Missouri's going to need it big time on Saturday, especially with a true freshman quarterback, right? Like you don't want to give your true freshman quarterback, you don't want to have him trotting on the field down 14-0, right? You want your true freshman quarterback to know that the defense is playing well and that he can make mistakes because let's be honest, true freshman quarterback, he's probably going to make a mistake on Saturday. I would
I agree.
probably say that Matt Zollers will throw an interception or will at least throw a few dangerous balls that'll make you cringe a little bit. But with that being said, and I wrote this in my article about Matt Zollers, what was separating Bo Perbula from Matt Zollers? Bo Perbula was making those dangerous, dangerous, dangerous throws, and he was making costly turnovers. What separates that guy from the true freshman who you won't play because you're scared of him making those decisions? I mean, really nothing. So it's going to be interesting to see how Matt Zollers plays. I think he's got all the talent in the world to go out
I
there and
agree.
play a pretty good game. But the thing is, when you have 2 weeks to think about playing a top five team in your stadium, like that can drive some anxiety there. So it's going to be interesting to see how he responds. Let's go ahead and do it really quick. Just give me your official prediction for this game, Fernando. I mean, do you have a score? Do you have, hey, I mean, I think this team wins by a possession or so. What do you think?
My prediction will be for yeah, that's a tough one for me because the Matt Zollers factor throws everything out of whack in my eyes because we have seen Missouri Tigers play all season so far, and we understand how they behave on their offense against SEC ranked teams. And with Matt Zollers being a pocket passer, like, is this how the offense gets fixed? I don't know because I think if Matt Zollers starts making those 10, 20-yard passes, it can create some rooms, some room in the offense for Ahmad Hardy to start running the ball. Because if you've noticed the previous, what, 3, 4 games where a lot of those defense have shut down Ahmad Hardy, they're pretty simple math. Hack the box, because
Mhm.
they did not think that Bo Pribule could really affect them that much. So if Matt Zollers finds some type of like speed where like you can see him getting comfortable in the pocket and having good throws, man, I can see Missouri winning, and I can see Missouri
Yeah.
pulling the upset like a really like a tight score, like a 20, sorry, like a 30-27. But if Matt Zollers folds over the A&M defense, then I can see like a 31-17 game, A&M winning the game. I don't. I think it's either a close win by Missouri or a two score, a like a 31-17 A&M.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. It's interesting that you brought up the idea of we know what the Missouri offense looks like. Teams would stack the box. I think A&M's going to do that still. I think they're going to stack the box and make a true freshman beat them. And I think if Matt Zollers can display some of what we saw against Vanderbilt, I don't actually think it's crazy to pick Missouri. Now, am I going to pick Missouri? No, I'm not. I'm going to pick A&M to win this game because I just genuinely do not think Missouri is going to beat a top five team at home with a true freshman quarterback. I don't think you can really bet on that. So I'm gonna pick A&M to win 37-28. That's the score I'm going with. I think it's going to be a little high scoring. I think both offenses can be pretty explosive this game. So we're going to see. But I also have a lot of faith in Matt Zollers. I like what I see out of him, and I think the Missouri offense will actually play a little bit better with Matt Zollers. But I still don't think they're able to stop some of what A&M can do offensively, um, even though the defense has been really good this year for Missouri. But I'm going to pick A&M. Now, I kind of wanted to get into it a little bit. We don't have to spend long on this because it's kind of self-explanatory in all honesty. But Missouri, is there a chance for them to make the college football playoff? Let's say they walk out there Saturday and they pull off the unthinkable. They beat A&M with a true freshman quarterback. Everyone's going nuts. People are going to Harpo's doing really horrible things that I hope they will not be doing. But people freak out because they just beat A&M. Missouri is what, 7-2 at that point. College football playoff still on the line. Do you think if Missouri wins out, they make the college football playoff? Yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Beating a number three team without a doubt, and the rest of the regular season is very winnable games in my mind. Missouri will have their last game will be again their last home game will be against Mississippi State. The one I'm sort of nervous about would be after the A&M game will be Oklahoma. But
But that's after the state
Oklahoma,
game, right?
yes, and then they close it up
Yeah.
with Arkansas. So I think it's definitely a doable thing. Beating a number three team that I think that builds a lot of credibility to at least get you in the top 10 discussion. So
Yeah. That's that's fair for sure. I think so. Here's the thing. Even though I'm not going to pick Mizzou to win this game, I actually feel more confident about Mizzou winning. And that's because I really like Matt Zollers. I'm not scared to say it. I've been saying for a couple weeks now that I think Missouri's offense may be better off with Matt Zollers. But I think if Mizzou wins this game, I don't think they'll make the college football playoff. And that's because I don't think Mizzou will win in Norman, Oklahoma under any circumstance. I just don't. Mizzou has not won in Norman, Oklahoma since the 60s. It's been a really long time. That's not to say that it can't be done and that those things don't, get broken. Of course they do. Um, but I just don't think they do. Right? They'd have to go on the road against John Mateer and the Oklahoma Sooners, who have been really, really good, and pull off a crazy upset. And not to mention, some of those guys on the Oklahoma Sooners were there last year when Missouri beat them at home in the most unthinkable way possible. So those guys are going to hold it, um, just hold it inside that feeling of, oh my gosh, we lost to Missouri in the last minutes last year. I think Missouri's going to go 9-3 if they beat A&M. I think if they don't beat A&M, they're going to go 8-4. But I guess we'll see. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I'm very open to being wrong. Um, but yeah, 9-3 is my prediction if Missouri does win on Saturday.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll see. Who knows? Because I feel like the Zollers quarterback situation, it almost in a way it resets the team. Because let's be real in this podcast. Beulah has struggled the last three games, and the offense having a new quarterback in can create new excitement. So who knows how they play? So we'll see.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's very fair. Um, I'm very excited to watch the game on Saturday, right? People have noted this about Matt Zollers, but there's actually an NFL comp of Matt Zollers to Drew Lock, which is really funny because Drew Lock obviously played at Missouri and he was extremely, extremely good. Um, I mean, imagine if Drew Lock had Missouri's talent now. Who knows how good that team would have been. But obviously, Drew Lock was not playing with elite talent like Missouri has now. He was playing with Barry Odom talent, offense to Barry Odom. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting watching Zollers play. That's the main thing that I'm excited for walking into that stadium. I mean, going onto the field at 1:15, I'm going to go straight to where the quarterbacks are warming up, and I'm going to watch Zollers throw for a little bit and take some video of that. But very excited to see the youngster play. Especially when you have a guy that was a former five-star recruit. He was a high four-star, but that's just because he got injured. If he didn't get injured, he probably would have been a five-star. But it'll be a lot of fun. But Fernando, kind of going forward, let's talk a little bit. Like we don't have to spend too long on it, because it's a meaningless game. Mizzou basketball opened up their season. They played against Howard on the road, which never happens. I don't know how that got scheduled, but Dennis Gates did say that he wanted to play an HBCU on the road, and I think that is a pretty cool thing. They did win 88-67. Sean Phillips had a really, really nice game. I believe he had 16 points and 11 boards. Uh, Led the team in scoring and in rebounds. Overall, the Tigers looked pretty good. I know, Fernando, you said you didn't get to watch too much of it. Um, Based off of what I saw, Mizzou basketball looks decent, but it's one game against a mid-major. So basically, in summary, they look decent, but I could be incredibly wrong. They could be incredibly good. They could be incredibly bad. Nobody knows. A couple guys
Jack,
stuck out. Like I said, go ahead.
yeah, Jackson, cool question to you. And maybe I'm crazy with this theory and tell me maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But I get this sense with Missouri, the basketball side of it, they're pretty similar to the football side on the scheduling side, where it seems like they play a lot of easy teams at first. Then once you start getting into the harder side of the schedule, and that's when you kind of get a reality check on where they are as a team. Do you see that being
Yeah.
the same for the basketball team as it is for the football team?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's a lot of college basketball teams unless you're a blue blood. Um, Missouri's going to play a lot of meaningless non-conference games versus, you know, Mississippi University for women, which is a real team. They're not actually playing them. That's a joke because Mississippi Valley State played them, but they're going to play against a lot of mid-major teams that just quite frankly are not to Missouri's level. Um, so you're going to see Missouri win a lot of games by 20, 25 points, 15 points. You're going to feel pretty good about yourself. You're going to be telling yourself Missouri basketball is really good. And then they play Minnesota at home, and I think they'll win versus Minnesota. Minnesota's a Power Four team, but they're not great. They're one of the worst Power Four teams. You're not going to know much about this team until they go on the road versus Notre Dame, right? That's the SEC ACC challenge this year. Missouri going on the road to Notre Dame, and I think that's when you're going to learn a little bit. And then you're especially going to learn a lot when Missouri plays Kansas at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. So it's very similar to football. And, you play a lot of teams that you're trying to gain confidence against, and you're trying to get your guys to shoot pretty well heading into conference play. That's kind of the Dennis Gates way. He did that year one. They played a bunch of nobodies, started 9-0, and they're going to do that again this year. They're going to play a lot of teams that just are not good at basketball
Yeah.
at all. But I mean overall, there's not much to say about Missouri basketball through one game, but I will say I really like this roster. I really like the roster compared to years past. Not to say that I think last year's roster was bad at all. Um, I do think this is a much more athletic team, a bigger team, and maybe a little bit deeper too. So I think there's some exciting parts about this Mizzou basketball team. I thought Jaden Stone looked really good. He went 3 for 4 from three. Jacob Cruz looked pretty good. Um, I thought T.O. Barrett looked really good. I'm looking forward to seeing T.O. Barrett's sophomore year. Anthony Robinson still has a major fouling issue. He can't seem to stay on the court because he just cannot help himself with reaching when he doesn't need to reach. So. But overall, I think Missouri looks pretty good, but we're going to know more in about 2 months. And pretty much every summary of Mizzou basketball games are going to sound just like that. It's going to be like, oh, I think Mizzou's pretty good. They played pretty well. They beat whoever they played by 15 or 20 points. It's meaningless. They're going to win those games. And if they lose, throw up your hands. The season's over. I don't know. But Mizzou basketball, pretty nice win.
So Jackson, what are your thoughts? I was looking over an X the other day. There's some uproar about the seating situation, the courtside seats. I saw a picture that the fans were used to be able to get really, really close to the courtside, and now recently, the Mizzou AD added some, I guess, premium seating. I don't know too much about them,
Hmm.
but from reading in X, it seemed like that's like C-suite people are gonna be sitting there. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So. Before I get my thoughts, let me just say that Lard Beach, the athletic director, did the right thing. They did fix it. They brought the student section back to pretty much where it was, and they still have a little bit of that premium seating because there is truth to the way that college athletics are going. You have to bring in money, and that's going to be with premium seating because those seats will be bought. They will be by rich people and you're going to want that money for retaining talent and adding new talent. But I'm glad that they fixed it, right? And I'm glad that the Antlers were so vocal and all the fans. Let's call it for what it is. What they did originally, which was move the student section back by like 8 rows and have that premium seating, it looked awful. There is nothing that can sum it up more than one word: terrorism. That was awful. I don't know what was going through their heads because the student section at Mizzou Arena is really what makes that place nuts. It's like a wall of students, a wall, right? Why would you why would you push them back, right? Your home court advantage lies in your student section because the student section makes up probably a good 10 to 15% of the arena. I'd say maybe even 20. So I don't know why they would do that. It's pretty ridiculous in all honesty, but I'm glad they fixed it. And I even put out a tweet after it happened. I was like, this is an indictment on the program for doing that because why in the world would you do something that your fan base just absolutely hates, even if it's for the name of, hey, we want to bring in more money so that we can have more talent on the roster. It's like, yeah, but you kill your relationship with your fans. Why, why would you do that? It makes no sense. But I'm glad that they fixed it. And I see the vision of wanting to do things that will obviously improve your team, that'll bring in more money. Because let's be honest, college athletics is pretty much professional at this point. It's no longer, we're long gone away from, student athlete days. This is pretty much professional sports just masked in college. So,
I agree. I agree. And I felt like the last, what, 5 years, Missouri athletics as a whole, they have stepped up their game in recruitment. And one of the signs I've noticed is back in the day, a lot of the players that Missouri would get would be local, like somewhere around Missouri, somewhere around Kansas. And now I've noticed a lot of the players that Missouri Athletics are out of state folks. And I think it's cool for the program because it does show like that the program is growing and just trying to push their boundaries. I actually know the catcher coach for Mizzou baseball, and he's from Puerto Rico. He actually moved to Missouri for the job, and he traveled all around the country for recruitment. So I just thought that was pretty neat, and like how Missouri athletics is pushing their boundaries and trying to be, one of the top colleges in the United States.
yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate the way that the school is trying to bring in that money and they're doing a great job. I mean, when you literally renovate your north end zone for $250 million, like that tells me you care about the athletics program. Um, but so far, I think Mizzou's on a good trajectory overall for all its programs. I mean, pretty happy with the athletic director. I mean, they did just also add sponsorship logos to Mizzou Arena, to the court there. So they're obviously doing things that are bringing in money, and that's going to help them in the long run. So I think you just kind of got to accept that this is the way college athletics are going, and it's trending upwards. And speaking about trending upwards, Fernando, I can think of an NFL team that is trending upwards and you might like them. The Kansas City Chiefs are trending upwards now. Yeah, they lost to the Buffalo Bills. So what? They lose to the Bills in the regular season pretty consistently now. Because guess what? When the playoffs roll around, Josh Allen doesn't know how to beat the Chiefs. At least yet. So, Fernando, talk to me a little bit about what you've seen out of the Chiefs the last couple of weeks. Is it just their wide receiver core that has made this team better? Why do the Chiefs look just completely different?
Yeah, I really think that they've had the parts to make the offense work properly. And yeah, I mean the wide receivers are electric. There was a lot of word there in Twitter X about the return of Rasheed Rice, how it was going to completely transform the offense, and holy smokes, they were not kidding. Andy Reid using Rasheed Rice in every possible way. The one thing I really wish they could fix is a running game. Pacheco was sort of on his way to being back to pre-injury Pacheco, and then he gets hurt on the Monday night game against Commanders. So now we're back to not great running game. So I was particularly disappointed with Veach. The word in the street was Brees Hall was trying to leave, wanted to leave New York, and
Hmm.
the reports were that New York wanted a third round pick for Brees Hall, and Veach would not go up any more up than the fourth round pick. I know Veach gets paid
Yeah.
what he gets paid, and he knows. I like to think he knows what he's doing, but is it really worth keeping the running backs that you have for not being willing to go up one round? Because honestly, because the only thing I could think of was maybe the commitment to signing him past this regular season. And he's a young player. It's not like he's that older running back, like Kamara or whatever. But I don't know. I was honestly disappointed, but I think Andy Reid can do. We'll make it work. I know it's concerning the Chiefs being the currently third place in their division, but the good news is they still get to play the Chargers one more time, and then they're going to play Denver twice. So, so I think they're going to be good. And I believe if I look at my stats, any game after the bye week, Andy Reid tends to have a really really good record. Yeah, so I believe that coming off the bye week, they're gonna go to Denver, and they're gonna they're gonna fix a lot of the clean up some of the things that they uh that that they need to work on. My biggest concern right now
Yeah.
is Chris Jones. There is a lot of concern about the level of football that Chris Jones is playing. Um, I'm not a I don't know how to properly evaluate how good a D tackle is, but usually this type of games are the ones that Chris Jones takes over and sacks Josh Allen, and they can get the ball back and then they can win or whatever. But that wasn't the case. As you guys saw in the game, Josh Allen took over and he did whatever he wanted, and they had a great plan that got them to win. I've seen on X a lot of people concerned about Chris Jones not being the same level he used to be. And if I try to be objective about it, I have to ask myself the question: is it him that he's like lack of effort from him, or is it the line he needs support from the line? Because when I think about Aaron Donald when he was in the NFL, the easy way to play him is you team him, and then you're good. So I'm wondering if that's what's happening with Chris Jones. He's not getting enough support in the middle. So if he's getting double team, triple team, whatever, then he's not going to be able to do anything. So um, I'm hoping I can see more out of Chris Jones. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I can't speak much on the Chiefs because I don't watch the Chiefs all the time, but overall, they do look so much better. I mean, Rasheed Rice did just change that offense so much. It's pretty insane. Um, and it is also insane that the Chiefs did not give a third round pick to the New York Jets for Brees Hall. What are the Chiefs doing? Brees Hall is really, really good. I don't know what the Chiefs were thinking. Um, I mean, like you said, Brett Veach gets paid all the money to make the decision, so you hope that the guy knows what he's doing. But
Great.
that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Um, but yeah, I mean, Chiefs look pretty good. I mean, I think they're on track for a wild card position, possibly winning the division if they're able to beat the Broncos twice and the Broncos struggle a little bit. Only time will tell. The Broncos are playing right now at the time of recording this. I don't know what the score is. I haven't gotten a chance to like look at the game or anything. Um, but obviously that's a big thing for the Chiefs is you hope that the Broncos lose. Um, but yeah, so far so good for the Chiefs, looking like a much better team, and the outlook certainly looks a lot brighter than what we were talking about a couple weeks ago. So. Yeah, good on the Chiefs for starting to win. Um, I don't think we have too much else. I mean, Hickman plays Elias tomorrow, and I'm pretty excited to go cover that game, Fernando. Hickman is probably going to lose by 2 or 3 touchdowns. It's
What makes you say that?
their home. So here's the thing. Elias is 9-0. Elias is 9-0. And they're really good. They've got a really good quarterback in Austin Weaver. They played Hickman already one time. Do you want to know what the score was, Fernando? You want to know?
Tell me. Do tell.
42 to 7. 42
You
to
smoke.
7. And here's the thing. I don't think Hickman is a bad football team. They're 7-2. Like they're clearly not a bad football team. They're a really good football team. They're really fun to watch. The way that they play offense, the way that they run through Prince Collins, they are fun, right? They're fun. They're energetic on the sideline. I joke with them when I'm on the sideline sometimes, but man, I think this is too tall of a test for Hickman.
Yeah.
That's not to hate on kids. I don't like to say that 18, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids are going to lose a football game because they don't like when I say that. But they're going to lose. They're going to lose. And it's okay. I just think that Elias is a little too good. Do I think Hickman can somehow pull it off? Yes. Yes. The way that Hickman plays, yes. They have to stay on the field a long time on their drives, though. They have to run the ball through Brent Collins and Casey Conyers and have like 8 or 9 minute touchdown drives. They have to be incredibly efficient and they have to contain Austin Weaver. It's also at Elias, which certainly does not help Hickman's causes. Um, so I'm gonna pick Elias in that game. I'm gonna go a little more in depth on it tomorrow morning on our TikTok page, but this is a loss for Hickman. So there's not much to talk about there. Um, it's a fun season
Well,
for them, but
well, well,
good things
hopefully
come to an end.
Hickman. Yeah, well, hopefully you've given Hickman plenty of bulletin board material, and maybe this will be what they need to take the team to the next level. Who knows?
Yeah, I did that against Rockbridge, and I mean, every player on Hickman probably came up to me after the game, which was really funny. But maybe that'll give them the motivation that they need to go win the game. Not that
Yeah,
they don't have enough, not that they need to hear a random guy tell them that they can't win this football game. But well, journalism, baby, it rocks. So yeah, Fernando, if you don't have anything else, I don't know.
yeah. One little thing. I know you and I spoke on it between today and yesterday. You'll notice in a lot of our socials, we did a little redesign our logo, trying to modernize it, and just trying to make it more look more slick. So you'll notice a little bit of a change. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And yeah,
Yes.
that's my only thing.
It looks so much better. Guys, we're gonna be honest. Our first logo was from Grok, AI on X. We made it out the slums. We made it out the slums. Hallelujah. All right. But obviously, I mean, I was in favor of it because I don't mind our old logo, but this one looks a little bit more modern, a little bit less AI generated. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. We're gonna try to be as consistent as possible with it. But yeah, really excited to cover the game on Saturday, cover the game on Friday night. Make sure you go follow our Twitter account. We'll have that in the description of this video. So make sure that you go follow that because we do live tweeting throughout the Hickman games, live tweeting throughout the Mizzou games. That's where all our articles get published as soon as they come out. We post a tweet that they're up. So make sure you go follow that. And thank you guys for listening to the 1821 Sports Podcast. Hope you guys have a blessed weekend. Stay safe out there. And yeah, hope you guys have a great night.